Now spawning in the bottom left-hand position as the teal Protoss player, it is none other than Alien Invasion's Chubz. And his opponent up in the top left, the red Protoss, from my insanity, it is Stardust. He's currently 1-0 up in this series, like a bit of a boss, because of course, he is a boss. Everyone likes that. But anyway, beside the point, PvP, exciting times. Stardust went for a 3-gate all-in, up against Chubz, who was attempting to get Blink Stalkers out. Unfortunately, that's going to be tough times, but it was all through a beautiful move, and I've got to say this was a really beautiful move by Stardust. He came up into his opponent's main base and went pylon, pylon. And of course, if there's 2 pylons and all you've got is a mothership core, 1 sentry and 1 stalker, it's hard to kill both before they get down. And then the warpins came flooding through. Stardust was just like, ha ha ha, as I imagine him doing sort of an evil villain laugh while stroking a cat or something. I don't know. I don't know where this analogy's going, but just go with it in your minds. Like, I can't finish it off, so yeah. Anyway, this game, we do have Chubz once again coming out with a nice early scout. Gate, gas, 1x1 only this time. Same as what Stardust is doing. Things looking safe. Is Chubz going to mix it up? Maybe try and get a few more units out just to avoid something like that happening again. Is going to get the luxury of the first scout, as both players are currently scouting clockwise. Because that's a cool way. Depends on the map. Most players, whether they scout clockwise or anti-clockwise. I'm one of those OCD-ish people. I have to scout clockwise. It really bothers me if I don't. Don't know why. But anyway, it's not optimal. It's like people who have to wash their hands like an obsessive compulsive all the time. But anyway, 1 gas down on both sides. No second gas as of yet. Cybercore kind of boosting out Zealot though. That's quite cool times. Meanwhile, Chubz, of course, knows where his opponent is. Stardust, unfortunately, doesn't yet. Is going to go and scout the cross-spawn positions, it would appear. Or at least grab the watchtower. Just to try and have a little peek of what's going on there. So, good positioning. Chubz is going to go and hide a probe down by the 3rd base, or potential 3rd base here. Ready to put a pylon down, should it be required. This could suggest that Chubz is going for some kind of gateway all-in. He's only got the 1 gas still. Stardust also with the 1 gas, kind of boosting out warp gate tech on both sides. Could get a lot of pressure, going to be making its way through, but for the moment, Stardust, he's just, well, happily sending a Zealot over. Got a probe up on in here. Going to get a little bit of information going, okay, well, he's only got the 1 gas now. There's the 2nd gateway. This could be, once again, a 3-gate all-in from Stardust. He's getting down another 2 gateways here. If it worked the first time, might as well try and go, but what he doesn't want to do is lose that probe. This probe, absolutely essential to making things work. A Stalker coming down just to go and aid a little bit. 1 Zealot, 1 Stalker up against 1 Zealot and 1 Stalker. Going to be a pretty even match, but luckily the probe is going to be able to escape, and that's really what Stardust needed. Is able to use the bush, though, to his advantage just to get the first hit off, and that's actually massive. It means that he's able to force this Stalker back. The Zealot on Zealot action can hide, but Stardust may get an early kill here. Chubz loses that Stalker, and that is so critical. He does have 2 of his own gateways coming down, but they are actually a little bit later than Stardust, I do believe. So, with Stardust getting the pylon down, Chubz and the pylon 2, getting one even closer. Chubz is going on the aggressive. This is a 3-gate all-in up against a 3-gate all-in. Things are getting pretty crazy. Now, the downside is that Chubz, of course, has lost both the Zealot and the Stalker now. That's frustrating. Units can get warped in, but it's going to be a little bit annoying because Stardust is just doing exactly the same thing. All Stardust needs to do is, well, this is going to be a very interesting situation, let's just say that much. But Stardust with the warpins back at home and the additional Stalker should be able to hold this off, just because he's got superior numbers now. If he kills another Stalker, which he does, he's in a very, very good position. And is now going to try and push back the rest of these Stalkers as quickly as he can. There's only 2 remaining. Probe coming back from where it already was. Remember, warpins could come down, and as long as Stardust doesn't allow a critical mass of units to get assembled, then he's going to be okay. Stardust does need to pull back very quickly, though. Does get the Stalker, now needs to go into the full retreat. Will lose 1 Stalker, going to take a decent chunk of damage on another. Needs to get more warpins coming on through. Does go for an offensive warpin of 3 Stalkers. Has he overcommitted? The Stalker count 4 on each side, but of course more damage being done to Stardust units for the time being. He doesn't have a mothership core. Probes getting pulled. Going to just try and soak up some of the damage. He's microing like a boss. Chubz, though, warping in more units. Probes trying to work this down. Back at Chubz base, though. Zealot's eating away at everything, knocking it all down. Only 1 probe up against 20, and that's why Stardust is able to sacrifice a lot of these. Needs another warp in, though. Stardust spending all of his money, trying to get as many Stalkers as he can. Chubz Zealots pushing through, having a good time. Chubz, though, is still being forced to micro back with these units as fast as he can. Stardust doesn't have much gas income at the moment. What he needs is Minerals just to squeeze out a couple more units, if at all he can. Trying to micro as best as possible with these Stalkers just to make it all last. Stardust, Zealot, and Probe surrounding a Stalker. Exactly what they need to be doing. Will get a kill there. And of course Stardust, because he's killed all of his opponent's probes, all he's got to do is hold now. And everything will go beautifully. So he can use all of these probes. Chubz, unfortunately, only with Zealots left. GG is called. And Stardust takes the series cleanly and easily in a 2-0. Meaning my Insanity is now 2-0 up in this team fight.